And we go through 660, 660, 660, 800, 800, 700, 600. There we go. Today is Thursday, and we are going to focus on our listening practice, okay? The listening practice is 30 minutes long, including 6 minutes of transfer time. Transfer time is the time that where you pass your answers from paper to the answer. That time is just extra in this case. But the listening section is very interesting for me because it will is when we are going to practice a lot of vocabulary, pronunciation, of course, and many of the things that we did in previous classes. So listening okay. The listening section is very interesting because there is something happening with our pronunciation of some specific letters. Okay. Here we are going to talk about British pronunciation and how this specific some of the consonants sound very different when we are dealing with American people versus British people. The problem with the listening section is that it is British speakers. Cambridge is in England. So the audios are British. But teacher, we practice with American people. What is your problem? Well, yes and no. We practice with American people, but the pronunciation or the structure is the same. There will be no difference on the pronunciation on the structure. The only difference between English and American English and British English is number one, the pronunciation of the letter R. And number two, the pronunciation of the letter T. Okay. The letter T is very strong in British English. People pronounce the T very strongly. In previous classes, for example, in the previous group, we had a problem with a student that couldn't recognize the word imaginative. When you pronounce imaginative in American pronunciation, the T sounds like imaginative.
Imaginative.
Imaginative. It's a very tenuous T, not very strong, but it's there. The problem with the British people is that they pronounce the T very strongly.
Imaginative. Imaginative.
Tiv. And in the audio, it was stronger either. In the audio of the previous class, the person said imaginative. So when we listen this sound, we can confuse the T for an S. Be careful with the letter T. Letter T is very tricky when we are listening to British people. The other problem with British English is for example, double T. In the word water, we are going to listen that American people pronounce it like
Water.
But British people are going to listen, it's going to pronounce the T very strongly.
Water.
So. When in American it's very tenuous.
Water. Water.
Water.
Water.
The same, the word ladder.
Letter. Letter.
And the same in the nationalism. British.
British. British.
In American English, it is British. But in British English, it's a t, strong.
British, British,
T.
British.
Do you hear the T? Sounds very, very different. In the chat, Cesar is telling me that sister. Sister, in this case, the letter T doesn't change because it's necessary. In American English, it sounds sister. The difference, though, is in the letter R, not in the T. British English open the pronunciation when they are going to pronounce the letter R, they don't twist the tongue like in American English. They don't do the they only open the mouth and pronounce a schwa. As you can see, the letter R is a parenthesis in this case. So the pronunciation will be sister.
Sister, sister.
You see? American English, there is a closed.
Sister. Sister.
British, it's open.
Sister, sister.
There's an open. Sister. So the letter T and the letter R are the challenges when we deal with the British listening. Only that. Some vocabulary is different too. For example, let's say some words. As we say, for example, some words, for example, in American English, the past participle of get is gotten. Get, got, gotten. But in British English, the past participle is only got. Look at these examples. You could have got hurt. You could have gotten hurt. It's the same idea, but hashtag British and Spanish and American. This is a structure number 6. He has got very thin. American English, he has gotten very thin. In the audios, you are going to hear got. Never gotten. Right? This is new for you, right? Hashtag British.
I guess that in official exam, both answers are correct.
It depends. It depends on the type of exam. For example, if your nationality is British, but you are going to do a TOEFL, they consider your nationality and they accept it.
Okay.
So if you come from Europe and you make a TOEFL exam, which is an American exam, they consider it correct. If you are Mexican and you write got in past participle, they consider it incorrect because we are supposed to be learning American English. And TOEFL is an American institution.
Okay.
So that's very interesting. It really depends on our nationality. Hashtag exams. Oh, yes. So the word got, get and got. British and American English. Has gotten. Okay, next. Very famous collective. Now, my family is visiting from person. My family is visiting Spanish. I got to. Look at this. There is something interesting happening on the verb have and the verb take. In British, it's correct to use I am going to have a shower. Why? Because British. In America, we say I'm going to take a shower. That's the most common one. But it's probable that in the audios, you are going to hear people saying, have a shower, have a break. Now, be careful. When we are talking about lunch, dinner, and breakfast, what verb do you use for lunch, dinner, and breakfast? Have or take. We have said it before.
Have.
Correct. You have breakfast, you have lunch, and you have dinner in America and in England. There's no difference here. You never take a dinner, eh? Never. You have dinner. Okay. Next, the word shall. In British English, instead of saying, can I open the door? They say, shall I open the door? That's another difference.
I have a strange question.
Okay.
In the Lord of Kings? No. Lord of Rings?
Oh, the Lord of the Rings. The Rings.
That handsome man said, you shall not pass.
You shall not pass, of course.
And I don't get it.
Oh, wow. Okay. The auxiliary shall is in America, it is considered a variation of should. And in my structures handbook, I have it as recommendation. You know? But actually in American English is used like as a formal should. So we say, shall we dance? It's like I should, but you are being formal with a person in order to ask permission.
So what is no.
What is what?
He's trying to say what?
Well,
it's like a
prohibition.
aha.
A prohibition. That's the difference. I was contrasting American English, but the Lord of the Rings occur in Europe. Or, well, in a culture that is more similar to Europe. So in Europe, shall is not for formal expression, is for permission. So precisely it's like, you don't have my authority, my authorization to pass.
Okay.
You shall not pass. That's why he uses shall. And you know what? I also investigated this because I didn't understand why he said shall, you know? That was the reason. British English, shall is for permission.
Permission.
Permission, and also formal suggestions. If I make a suggestion to have a meeting all together at a restaurant, I can say, shall we have the meeting at the restaurant? That's not permission, that's a formal request.
Okay.
But that was a great observation. British English versus American English. Finally, some words are actually different in spelling and in listening. Look at this. This list of vocabulary could be a great definition, a great start to check the difference between American and British English. Here it is. Look at these words over here. The little thing that we use for the baby is a nappy in British English. But in America, it's called a diaper. Okay. When we are talking about money, this is a note in British English. In American English, it's called a bill. Next, this thing in the car, it's a number plate in British English. In American English, it's called a license plate. When we are talking about the thing, let me make it bigger for you. Here it is. Gasoline in America, petrol in the in British. Sidewalk in America, pavement in British. A Band-Aid in America is called a plaster. The mailbox is a post box. The restroom is a public toilet or only toilet. Pajamas is spelled pajamas with Y in England, but the pronunciation is the same. When we wait in line for my coffee, I wait in queue for my coffee. Queue. Okay. The railway in British, the railroad in America. Eraser in America, rubber or rubber in British. Garbage in America, rubbish in British. Again, we have the pavement in America, which is the road in British. Actually, this is the opposite. Look at this. The pavement in British is to walk, and the pavement in America is for the cars. So we have a problem here. It's the contrary. If you say walk in the pavement, be careful with the nationality. Okay. Sellotape. That's the Scotch tape. Nobody says Durex. Okay. Durex is Spanish for some reason. It's tape. Okay. A shop, a store. Very similar in America. Coffee shop, coffee store. Really, we kind of use it the same, but it's a little different. The mall in America is called a shopping center. In British, we call sweets to candy. Tap to faucet, tap water, you know, water that you cannot drink. Well, at least in Mexico, right? A cab in America is a taxi in England, similar to Spanish. Flashlight in America, torch in England. Sneakers in America, trainers in British. Cart in America, trolley in British. This also is for the babies, the baby cart. When you're talking about the baby cart, also the baby trolley. That's possible vocabulary in the audios. These are pants in America, but in the United States, they are trousers. No, the opposite in British. In British English is trousers. Yes. The subway in America is called the underground in England. This is a vest in America. In British, it's called a waistcoat. Waistcoat or security waistcoat. A closet is called a wardrobe. A windshield is called a windscreen. The crosswalk is called a zebra crossing. Zebra crossing, like, as you can see, many concepts are very similar to Spanish. And the last one, the zipper, is called a zip, like the computer. Okay? Now I want you to help me with the pronunciation of the others. Okay? Let's take the other. And let's talk about pronunciation. Pronunciation in this case, Caesar.
Atom.
Excellent.
Autumn.
A little bit more not a. Autumn.
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 Autumn. This is American pronunciation, okay? British pronunciation,
Autumn.
Autumn.
very good. More intense. Autumn.
Autumn.
Autumn. Excellent.
Autumn.
Good. The next. How do you call a cookie in the United Kingdom, Elsie?
Biscuit.
Kinda. Let's check. Some letters don't sound.
Biscuit.
Exactly.
Biscuit.
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 Mhm. That's correct.
Biscuit.
The biscuits Obregon. The next one. The hood, Caesar, is the front door to access the engine. Okay? In the United Kingdom, this is the name. Pronunciation?
Bonnet.
Where's the stress?
Bonnet.
Bonnet.
Bonnet. In American, we call this the hood. Open the hood. Open the bonnet. British versus English. The last part, the opposite of the bonnet, or in American English, the opposite of the hood is the trunk. I put my things on the trunk. How do you call it in British English, Elsie?
Boot.
Right.
Boot.
Open the boot to put my baggage. These are called suspenders. The ones that you use for your suits. Okay. Name in England, English, Caesar?
Brace.
Only one brace?
Brace.
That's one brace.
Braces.
Exactly. Braces. Its countable is one brace and two braces over here. Plural. Right? What is this? A fanny pack. A fanny pack in the United States has a different name. In England, pronunciation, Elsie?
Bam bag.
Bam bag.
Bum bag.
Exactly.
Bum bag.
A bum bag. Mhm.
Bum bag.
I keep my phone in my bum bag. I keep my phone in my fanny pack. It depends. A parking lot is a territory, like a land, where you can keep your car. In British English, Caesar? I think that's easy.
Car.
Exactly. Car park.
Car park. Car park.
Park.
Car park.
Exactly. The R doesn't sound, Caesar. Good job. In American English, the R sounds. In British English, it doesn't sound. Good job. Okay, now,
It's English.
yes, do you like it?
Yeah.
That's very nice. You should practice your British pronunciation. Now, Jimena just arrived to the class, which is very nice. How are you, Jimena? Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you try again? Okay, there's a connection problem with Jimena. No problem. We're going to check it in a moment. Let's go to the next. Okay, an ATM. An ATM stands for automatic teller machine. Right? This is the name in the United States. But in the United Kingdom, Elsie?
Cash point.
Correct. A cash point. That's very interesting. It sounds kind of different.
Cash point.
A cash point is an ATM bank. And it has a little trademark thing going on, probably because a bank trademarked it. You know? Like Kleenex, you know? That's very interesting. The real name is cash machine. But many people, it's so popular, the word cash point, that people adopted as the normal name. Okay. Next, a pharmacy in the United Kingdom has a very different name. Pronunciation, Caesar?
Chemist.
Wrong. School.
Chemist.
School.
Chemist.
Exactly. Yes, of course. Be careful. This is stomach. Stomach, school, chemist. Chemistry. Right? No stomach, no stool, and no chemistry. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Next, French fries. What's the name in British, Chelsea?
Chips.
Correct. Which is very interesting because American chips are different.
Hash brown.
These are American chips. But British chips are this. What? Culture. Okay. That's a culture. A very common, when you go to a bar in England, they offer you a beer with fish and chips. They always, it's like the classic, it's a beer and fish and chips. And all the British love this. It's like going for taquitos al pastor, you know? It's the standard in Britain. That's right. A movie theater is a cinema, but probably you knew that already. This one is a little different. A stove. Pronunciation in British English, is there?
Cooker.
Cooker, exactly. A cooker without the R.
Cooker.
Good. This one is so confusing. The name this is not a cucumber, okay? Don't confuse it. The photo looks like a cucumber, but it's very different. This is a zucchini. This is a zucchini. Delicious. Fried. Do you like them? Cesar doesn't like zucchini.
Oh,
Is
yes.
Mexican pumpkin?
Mexican pumpkin. Exactly. In America, it's called zucchini.
I like with cheese.
Yes, they are delicious, man. With cheese or Mexican zucchini.
Yeah, and I make zucchini, Mexican zucchini.
Yes, yes, with like very, very chopped with tomato and chili. Oh, delicious.
And panela cheese.
And panela cheese, exactly. Oof. So this name is very different in England. It's called a position LC.
Forget?
Kinda.
Courgette?
Exactly. Courgette.
Courgette.
Courgette?
Courgette.
And you can ignore the R. Courgette.
Courgette.
Right. I like it. Courgette or zucchini in America. This is the other name for the crisps. They are not chips. Transition, Caesar?
Crisps. Crisp.
Exactly. One crisp and two crisps. Plural.
Crisp.
Crisp.
Some British crisps. And again, we get the Doritos. Walkers, look at this. It's like from a parallel universe. You know? It's not Frito-Lays, it's not Sabritas, it's Walkers. Cheese and onion. Jesus Christ. You know? It's literally traveling to another universe. And Pringles are Pringles. Doritos are Doritos. You know? No difference. Drapes. This is actually very interesting because I hear American people saying curtains, but the name is drapers too, so tricky. In the audios, probably curtains. Okay. This is super tricky too, because in Mexico, we call it a CV or curriculum vitae. We know that this is not English. So we usually use curriculum in an American interview. Don't use it. If the company is American, use the word resume. Okay, that's for an American company. If the company is British, they will understand CV. Okay, it really depends on the human resources. Overalls. This like pants with extension is an overall. Transition Caesar. How do you call it in the United Kingdom?
Dungarees.
Look over here.
Dungarees.
Dungarees. Exactly.
Dungarees.
Like kangaroo. You know? Kangaroo, dungarees. Garbage can. In British English, Elsie?
The dustbin.
Correct. Dustbin.
Dustbin.
A movie, Caesar?
Film.
Right. An apartment, Elsie?
Flat.
Many students confuse department and apartment. That's the first problem. And the second problem is British, is apartment versus flat. Flat is British. Department is when you go to Liverpool, for example, there's a department store, the Department of Electronics, Department of Women, Department of Men, that's department. Soccer in America is called football in England. Backyard in America is called garden. Sweater in America, pronunciation, Caesar?
Jumper.
Jumper, exactly. Why? I don't know. Vacation in America is called holiday. This is pretty standard. In America, we call it holiday too. An elevator in America, what's it called in British, Elsie?
Lift.
Correct. I take the lift. I take the lift to my apartment. A truck in America, Caesar?
Lorry.
Lorry. That's correct. My baggage in America, Elsie?
Luggage.
In England, very good. Baggage versus luggage. Corn in America, Caesar?
Maize.
Let's check the pronunciation. I don't know if it's May or May. No, it's May.
Maize.
Maize. That's a maize. Maize cup. Cell phone in America. What's the name in British, Elsie?
Mobile phone.
Mobile phone. Good job. Or only mobile.
Mobile.
And the last one, highway. What's the pronunciation, Caesar?
Motorway.
Motorway. That's right. This is what we consider relevant for the challenges in the Oxford, not in the Cambridge dictionaries. It's British is a pronunciation of R, the pronunciation of letter T, plus vocabulary that changes. That's pretty much it. Any question? Nope. Fantastic. So what we are going to do is that for the listening test, you need to expand your vocabulary. So the tips for the listening section is make sure you know and dominate all vocabulary seen in this and previous courses. If you dominate a lot of vocabulary, this section is a piece of cake. I promise. That's why I insist on vocabulary. Okay? These include idiomatic expressions and B1 level phrasal verbs. For example, this phrasal verb. The verb take place is a combination of words to say to happen, especially after previously arranged. For example, the film festival takes place in October. The film festival happens in October. Okay? We may never discover what took place that night. We may never discover what happened that night. That's why I insist in your glossary. How is your glossary going? Do you have your glossary, people?
I don't have more words. I don't have time for reading them.
Well, take your time, eh? Because exam is in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So
I promise in my time break.
Yes, yes, study words. Study words because the solution to all your linguistic problems is vocabulary. That's the solution. So learn a lot of vocabulary. Now, there's going to be like the sequence. Number one, all audios will play twice. So you have two chances to listen to the audios. Okay. Some audios are short, some audios are long. Here is the tip. For long audios, use the first play to get familiar with what order the information is provided. What happened first, what the person said first, what the person said at the end, and what the person said finally. Don't answer in the first play. My personal tip is don't answer anything on the first play. Use the first play just to understand. And then on the second play, you can use it to confirm your answers and complete the exercise. So later, use the second time to answer all the exercise. Oh, by the way, all exercises give you some seconds to read the questions before the play. So let's imagine that you have a text, right? You can read the text in 20 seconds before the first play. As an example, you have here the first exercise, pictures. You have 1, 2, and 3 pictures, and then you need to listen to the audio twice. Before the first play, read the question. What will the weather be like at the weekend? And then pay attention to the audio. Don't answer in the first place. Answer in the second play. Do you want to practice? Attention. Listening. Part 1. Okay. Attention, eh? 1, 2, 3.
So tomorrow and Friday we can expect more of this lovely hot weather with bright sunshine and temperatures up to 24 degrees. So don't forget to wear sun cream. Saturday and Sunday will be cooler and cloudier, but it will stay dry without any rain. So you won't need your umbrellas and there might be a few sunny periods.
Second play.
So tomorrow and Friday we can expect more of this lovely hot weather with bright sunshine and temperatures up to 24 degrees. So don't forget to wear sun cream. Saturday and Sunday will be cooler and cloudier, but it will stay dry without any rain. So you won't need your umbrellas and there might be a few sunny periods.
Okay. What is the answer in this case? Caesar.
Letter B.
Letter B. Why do you say letter B?
Okay. First, he said that. Okay, I thinking in the audio is Wednesday, and say tomorrow and Friday it's sunny, and have I don't remember 24 grades. Uh,
24, okay?
grades.
A grade is a number in your school.
No, 24.
Vocabulary.
I don't remember.
New vocabulary. Let's go. So in our vocabulary, we're going to use the word 24.
Degree.
Only 1 degree or 24
Degrees.
degrees? Correct.
24 degrees. And he says that Saturday and Sunday it's too cloudy, but but how do you say? But have expect
Have
I-
expect in previous time or in this moment?
no will no
But the word expect, when does the word expect happen? Can you promise to expect or do you expect in this moment?
expecting this moment is
Exactly. So what structure do you need?
ing
ing, not e.
but plus verb to be.
Switch verb to be plus the ing.
Yes. Sunday, Saturday and Sunday, it's clothing.
What happened to the word expect?
Yeah, but it's expecting
Who is expecting?
for that day.
Who?
Him.
The weather is for everybody.
Okay. We
Excellent. Complete. Saturday and Sunday.
It's
Eliminate it's who?
okay. Saturday and Sunday is clothing, but it's clothing.
Yes.
It's clothing, but we are
Yes.
expecting
Yes.
some rain.
Rain. Correct. Correct. Brother, you are correct in the cloudy section. Okay, but the picture doesn't show any rain. So this is contradictory. You told me that the answer is B.
Yeah.
Actually, you are correct. The answer is letter B. But he never pronounced the rain, so be careful. This is the script. So tomorrow and Friday, we can expect more of this lovely hot weather. That's tomorrow and Friday. With bright sunshine and temperatures up to 24 degrees, blah, 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 blah. That was very good, eh? 24 degrees. So don't forget to wear sun cream. All this happen on Friday and tomorrow, Thursday. Next, Saturday and Sunday, this is the weekend, will be cooler and cloudier.
Oh.
You said cloudy, you are correct. Super important, without any rain. Without any rain.
Okay.
That's why it's so important to hear the adjectives that describe the rain.
Yeah, I don't listen.
Didn't last.
Listen it.
You didn't.
I didn't listen well this part, and I associate with need your umbrellas.
The same.
Yeah,
Won't.
this part, the stay dry without any rain. So you want, I don't listen well. I didn't listen well.
You focus on the principal words rain and umbrellas. That's precisely the mistake. You see,
Yeah.
this exam is designed to trick you this way. What you need to do is when you have the main information, expand your listening to the previous words, because the word won't is a negative will not. And on the other side, the word without any gives you the negative. If you only focus on rain and umbrella, you can select letter C. That's why it's so important to expand your keywords to the right. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
That is going to be our mission in this moment. We are going to practice with exercise number 1 right now. Okay. So I have this exercise for you, okay? Okay. Do you want an esquite?
Yeah, I am hungry.
Are you hungry?
So
Esquites. Do you like esquites?
much. With tuétano. With tuétano.
Patitas.
Oh, yeah. Mollejitas. I don't listen to you, teacher. No.